What's going on, guys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden, and I'm going to do an episode about Trump. I don't usually talk about Trump because it's one of those things where if you don't give the Trump attention, the Trump is now banned on social media, the Trump just kind of fizzles out and nobody's paying attention to him. And he also has no power right now, so all these people that are acting like, these shows on the left that don't constantly go after and bash Trump are somehow enabling Trump's like, no, bullshit. You guys are the ones pouring gasoline on the fire that shouldn't even be a fire anymore because he's not in office, he has no power, and he doesn't have any social media. So the only thing keeping Trump relevant are those people, like the Young Turks of the world, like the Ring of Fire, like a lot of these other faux lefty channels that want to call out the true leftists because they're not bashing Trump enough. Bullshit. Trump wouldn't even be relevant if it weren't for the Young Turks and the Ring of Fire and, of course, mainstream media breathing life into his corpse every day because they got nothing else to talk about other than that corpse. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to talk about Trump. And no, I'm not going to bash on him too much because he's doing something that's really, really dumb, but it's not really as dumb as it seems. And the narrative that mainstream media is already running with, and you'll never hear this on my show, is that Trump is suing Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for censorship. And the narrative from mainstream media has been, well, this is ridiculous. They're private companies. It's a First Amendment train wreck. It's never going to happen. So it's silly. Why would he do such a thing? What an idiot. He doesn't know this isn't going to work. That's how simple their analysis is. And you can look, like the New York Times is saying it. I read a lot of the headlines. I didn't read any of these articles, but the headlines are ridiculous, where that's how it's framed. Trump, idiot, because he doesn't know that they're private companies, so this won't work. Okay. He knows this won't work, and this is not nearly as dumb as they're making it seem to be. In late May, I think it was like May 22nd to 25th, I did a video on Ron DeSantis doing this exact same thing where he signed a law in Florida. He's the governor of Florida, very much the heir apparent to Trump, that would heavily fine social media for censoring, particularly people running for office and candidates. But also made it legal for residents to sue social media companies in that state if they believe that their algorithm was censoring people unnecessarily for no reason. And so that was actually what I said in that video is like, that's a good thing. And DeSantis is outflanking the Democrats on this in a very alarming way, because this is what scares me about DeSantis is he's clever in that way. He's like a smarter version of Trump. And now Trump has taken a page out of DeSantis' playbook. And I don't know if they got together on this or what happened, but Trump noticed what DeSantis did, and he's trying to do the same thing. Now, he will not win these lawsuits. It's a publicity stunt, and yes, of course he's profiting from it, or he's making money, he's fundraising from it. Of course, that's what Trump does. But that's all the mainstream media is talking about. Oh, he's fundraising off of it, it's a stupid thing to do. No, he's taking a page out of DeSantis' playbook so that when he runs in 2024, he can have this lawsuit and all of the media that was surrounding it right now, that you guys are giving him, by the way, as something to point back to and go, no, I'm pro-censorship. I think that you shouldn't be censored on any of these platforms, and I think mine was unconstitutional, and I think if you do it to the American people, you're violating their constitutional rights. And the thing is, he may not be technically correct, but I think most Americans would agree with Trump there, and he will definitely have all of his base agreeing with it. He will also have a lot of fringe lefties who are libertarians agree with it, like myself. I agree with that. So I don't want to have to agree with Trump on something. I wish that Biden would stop going towards his Domestic Patriot Act, which I broke down in this show in an hour and 45 minutes, super Orwellian. Biden is simultaneously, while Trump is fighting for censors or not allowing social media to censor you, Biden is simultaneously trying to spy on us more and censor people more via his Domestic Patriot Act, which is coming down the pipeline, guys. Now, I'm not saying that Trump isn't also for, spying on the people. I'm not saying that. But the perception is going to be and this is how it'll go down in the debates if they go up against each other, Biden and Trump in 2024, it'll be Trump will say, I'm against censorship. I sued all the tech giants for censoring me, and I don't think the American people want you to continue to allow these tech giants to censor what they have to say online. And he'll be right, and he'll have the majority of the people on his side. And Biden, who is continually moving towards more censorship and spying and hasn't done anything good in terms of taking care of these tech giants censoring people, is not going to have a leg to stand on. He's going to get wiped out in the debates. So this is why I made the video about DeSantis, is I was like, you guys, look out. This is one of those things where the Democrats are getting outflanked badly. And in fact, Biden is moving towards fascism because he is a righty for all intents and purposes. And Trump's going to outflank him and have this like fucking kryptonite to use against him. Not that he's Superman, but you get the metaphor. This kryptonite to use against him in 2024, and you can see it coming. 2.5 years out. I'm giving you guys the warning right fucking now. Okay, lastly, the point I'd like to make is, Trump, if you actually run on this, it is a good move, and this lawsuit thing is actually, I think, a good stratagem for him, considering he can't get any attention on social media. Now, there are still, like I said, these faux lefties in mainstream media who are kind of breathing life into his corpse because their existence is predicated on Trump boogeyman, Trump the fascist dictator, whatever. So they keep him alive, but it's a political stunt. He's going to get the media cycle for at least a little bit off of this, so that makes sense. But also beyond that, he wants to have something to point back to when he runs again, that he's actually very much more populist on than Biden is, or whoever happens to run for the Democrats. And he's right. That's why DeSantis did it too. He's giving himself the leg to stand on in the debates and when he runs on it. And you know what? There are fringe lefties who don't want to be censored, that if Biden goes in there against Trump, and Trump is only offering status quo, but we're going to make all of these social media platforms utilities, which I've always said they should be. If that's all Trump ran on, and Biden just ran the same thing that he did last time, I would be more tempted to vote for Trump than vote for Biden. That's not good. It means that Trump will get his entire base to vote for him because he's right on censorship, and they will never not vote for they'll never vote for anybody else other than Trump. But he'll also get people on the left who are libertarian who don't want to be censored. The Democrats are setting themselves up for disaster. Biden should abandon the Domestic Patriot Act. He should do this before Trump can. He should make all of the social media tech giants utilities and make sure that everybody's First Amendment rights are upheld that way. They're also monopolies. So, I mean, that's another thing. Like, if that's the way you want to frame it, Joe, whatever you want to do, you need to break up these companies, do something so that they don't have so much power, do what you got to do. The answer, though, in my opinion, if you want to defeat Trump, make sure that he doesn't outflank you on this, is just make, all of these things, Twitter, YouTube even, Facebook, social utilities, regulate them as so, and then everybody's First Amendment rights will be much more intact. Then Trump doesn't outflank you on censorship. But you can't say you weren't warned. I've already been warning people since late May, and I'm warning you guys again. I do not want another Trump presidency, which is why I bash on Biden so much to get him to do the right thing. But they don't listen to me. So now I'm having to be a doomsdayer because the Biden's presidency has been so anemic. You're just laying the groundwork for Trump to come through on one issue like this and clean everyone out. Or worse, Ron DeSantis if Trump doesn't run, who's arguably just a smarter version of Trump. Burners told you so. Biden would set us up for Trump 2.0. And he's doing exactly that. You've been warned, and I'm continuing to warn you. All right, keep fighting the good fight out there. Yeah, of course, Trump's he's fundraising off of it. He's a scam artist. Of course he is. He fundraises off of everything. The story here is that he's making a political stunt out of this, and it's going to work. And he's going to have a leg to stand on when he runs on censorship. That's my synopsis. Keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.